Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This time I had some subscribers request a look at my settings for PC. So we're going to take a look at that first. And then we're going to move on to a couple of like budget-friendly good builds for kits to run with that isn't super cheap tactic of just throwing a sniper in your safe. So here's what my settings look like for PC. I use continuous press and fire. I switch to next throwings. I don't have any of this stuff. I turn off the auto open door thing because it's really annoying when you're trying to sneak up on guys in the tunnels and the doors just open and give away your position. So off. I use smart medicine. Here's a quick look at what I'm using. I need to refine this a little bit more, but like this is what I've been using. It's working for the most part. There's some parts of it that are annoying, but for the most part that's it. You can pause it here and take a look and adjust yours if you want yours to be like mine. And then performance wise, I'm running on HD, medium, sharpening I left the same, frame cap I left the same, running classic mode, frame and ping, brightness, that's about it. Crosshairs, I didn't change much in here. This is all pretty default. Pickup list, I have unpointed, overall off, auto equip scope on, pickup weapons in a backpack on, auto pickup handgun on, quality level, and I have equipment off. I don't want it replacing my equipment. I didn't really alter any of this. This is all default, and then this is just on. These are my buttons, but you don't need to look at that. You can set yours up however you want. This is all, I guess I have it on custom. I don't know if I altered this at some point. I don't remember, but that's what it looks like if you want to copy it. Sound-wise, sound I think is the most important thing. So what you want is right here. So sound effects, you have on, you turn your enemy weapon up. I leave my weapons normal. I turn my team footsteps down. I leave the environment sounds at 100%. You could lower them to like 85 or 70 or whatever you want. Teammates' weapons, I turn down a little bit, but I like to be able to hear their weapons as well, just not as loud as my enemies. But I like to know, it kind of tells me where they're shooting from also. And then enemy steps, I turn way up, turn yours all the way down. That way you can hear your enemies over yours. This is I haven't messed with, and then the language thing is just English. So that's a look at my settings. Let's see. So that's all of that. And then some builds that I'm gonna do. If you're hard up for cash, like a lot of people are, there seems to be a lot of broke people. I don't know why, because it's really easy to make money in this game. So, I mean, you guys are using your prism, right? You're doing your prism every day, and you're not dying a whole lot, hopefully, if you're not playing Sea Shelter 3-man. I mean, that's a good way to lose a crap load of money real fast. Play other modes. Desert is an easy way to make money. Go to North American servers. There's not a lot of people playing on those. I mean, that's an easy way to farm. But aside from that, if you want some decent builds, what I would start with, you gotta have a little bit of money. So let's see what we can come up with that's not going to be too expensive. But you want to survive. So one of the cheapest builds is the T4 build. So you got armor. So that's 5K roughly. We'll say 5,200 because it fluctuates. Then, I mean, you can either go, I like this route, 6.3K for 95%. That'll protect you from headshots. So if snipers are plinking you in the head, I mean, you're going to die probably if you're just using a standard helmet. You get shot in the head. Like these T2 helmets here are garbage. These ones. You'll die all the time with these. I don't bother with them, because for this price, I think you can get, unless the price went up, you can defense link. Okay, this price went up. So for this price, you might as well just go with the this guy right here. It's best bet. These are not expensive, good protection. This will protect you from a lot of headshots. So I know a lot of people got gear for, they're like, oh my god, it's purple. I don't want to lose a purple piece of gear and possibly make someone happy. But you want to live, don't you? So put on the good armor. That's the first step to living is, I mean, this stuff won't protect you very much. Everybody's using T3 or T4 ammo. You're going to get shredded even in T4. I would go with the T5. It's pretty reasonable at 20k, but I mean, if you're hurting budget-wise, you can run this. That's what a lot of people do. I mean, you're probably going to run into other people geared just like this. They're probably not going to be wearing these helms, but you should, because this will definitely protect you from more stuff than their crappy helmet will. So, and then backpack-wise, I see a lot of people running these. These are not bad for the price. You won't be able to carry as much. Sometimes I just run base these. You can carry the most stuff if you're trying to make the most money possible. These are kind of like, they're 2200 and you can carry a full load. So there's that. But if you want to be a little bit more tactical, auto sorting is really good and it's not that expensive, but for a little bit more, you can also get the smoke-filled tank, which I've seen this work and actually protected a guy from me because of the smoke thing. So that does work as long as they're not using thermal. So you could go with that, or you could go with the base level 3 backpack. So that's like your average decently geared build. Almost everybody who's decently geared is running that. Some people will kick it up and they'll run a T5 and you're like, oh, T5. But T5 really isn't that great either. This will protect you a lot better from green ammo though. These things eat green ammo like it's their business. Like, I've had people empty like 2 mags on me with green ammo and I'm still alive. Like, it's pretty crazy. But you will get shredded eventually by green ammo in this. It will protect you a little bit. Anything less than that, like T3s and lower, don't run this stuff unless you found it in raid, you picked it up from somebody else. I mean, don't waste your money on it is what I really mean. Don't buy it. Like, I would never pay. I'd just take that money and put it towards a T4. Like, unless you're super poor. If you're poverty level poor, then we'll take a look at another build that you can go armor wise. If you're poverty level building, then maybe you just want to go like, it's kind of map and situation dependent. So like on desert, if you're looking at mostly long range and you're playing solo or even duo, just getting a T1 with first aid capsule. I ran this for a while and survived. I was killing T4s and T5s in this. Because they drop you and you can just pick yourself up. Like, get behind cover, pick yourself up, and you're good to go again. So this is not a bad strategy. It's not super expensive, but it's kind of situation dependent. Now, this is not going to save you if they drop you in close quarters. They drop you in close quarters, you're going to die before you can get up. And they're going to get this nice piece of gear and probably sell it for 4K. So, you can't always like predict when somebody's going to sneak up on you or they're going to charge up to you. But if you're running this, you probably want to stay at distance, is my suggestion. If not, like close range, if you're going into close range stuff, you might just want to rock a damage conversion. I mean, this will save you from a sniper round or a shotgun blast in close range. Like this guy right here. It won't save you from any automatics. If they're mowing you down with a Deluge or a P90 or an M4 or an AK or something that's automatic and fires quickly, this is not going to do anything for you. So it'll be a waste of your 2300. But if somebody's got a shotty, it will protect you from a shotgun blast. This has saved me many times versus shotguns and even versus snipers, having sniper battles. If you get tagged, it'll pop this and then you can get behind cover and you're still good. I don't really see the point in buying level 2 or level 3 armor because you're going to die almost just as fast. Like, literally, I tested these with T3 ammo. This takes like, I think 1 or 2 shots. This is like 2 or 3. This is like 3 or 4. This is like 5 or 6. This is a little bit more. But each armor was basically like one shot more than the other, depending on whether you get hit. You know, if you get hit in the legs, you take reduced damage to legs, so maybe you'll live for one extra shot from legs. But most of the time to the chest or the arms, unless you're running limb reduction and they're running some mod that adds damage. I mean, it's always hard to tell how many rounds you can actually take because of weapon mods, and you can't really test weapon mods in the shooting range effectively because you can't add armor mods. So if they're running weapon mods and you're running some armor mods, you're going to get mixed results. It won't be, but if you're just running straight armor is what I'm talking about. Each one of these armors versus T3 ammo only takes like one more than the other to kill you. But if you add some mods on there, it changes things up. Mods on your weapon, mods on the armor itself. So, but I would probably not waste my money on level 2 or level 3 armor from the auction house. It's kind of garbo. The only mods that, you know, that are worth running you can get on level 1 and it's cheaper. So first aid, damage conversion. I really wouldn't bother with anything else. If you're going budget build, these are your two best bets right here. I mean, if you're just trying to sneak around and not get hit, you could run anti-radiation layer so that people can't detect you with their thermal grenades, and then rely on like silence boots and sneak up on people. And I think for the price, like these are 4K. These are a little bit more. I always go with the level 2 boots. I mean, you pay just a little bit more and you get a few more movement speed. You get 2 more movement speed. So up to you. Either or works. People will pick them up regardless, so it's not like you're going to get the level 1s back to be like, oh, those are level 1 trash boots. No, they're silence boots. They'll get picked up. So, you know, that's like your bare bones poverty build. And then if you really want to go like super poor, you could run one of these level 1 backpacks with auto sorting. That's only 3K if you're, you know, but why bother at that point? You just run like light backpack, be really quick, pick somebody else's backpack up. This will probably come back to you in insurance if you insure it. So you could just rinse and repeat. If you want to use gear that people won't pick up, do this. I'll get into weapons next here real quick, but like gear that people won't pick up usually. Any armor with a decent mod is going to get picked up, so don't count on your armor coming back pretty much ever. Helmet-wise, I mean, I'm going to say the same thing. Sometimes you'll get these back just because like other pieces of gear will be more expensive. Same with your standard professional backpacks, because these only sell for like 1900. You'll sometimes get these back in insurance, but most of the time they'll get picked up. Boots-wise, anything with a decent mod on boots is going to get picked up. Although, if you do field style, these, I've had people leave these before. They're like garbage. Those will get left behind as opposed to other non-blue items. Or not non-blue items as opposed to other better blue items. So I'd put these in the same category as like blue backpacks, blue level 3s, and blue helmets here. These are all like the same tier. Sometimes you'll get them back. A lot of the times you won't. More than often not. So don't count on those coming back in insurance. Armor gets scooped up. Like not a lot of this stuff's going to come back in insurance. I still insure my gear every time because sometimes like the power goes out and I get disconnected. I'll get my whole kit back. That's saved me a couple of gold kits before actually. And sometimes sometimes if you're running with a teammate, they can ditch your gear and you'll get your gear back. So it's always worth insuring, I think. Even if you don't expect to get it back, I think it's always worth insuring just in case. I mean, I've had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of kit come back to me just from insuring, even though like it's good kit and you don't expect it to come back. I don't know why you would ever buy like this. There's no point. I mean, because you get 90 for 7.9 when you can get 95 for 63. So people that are running T5 helmets are just idiots, I guess. They're uninformed. We'll put it that way. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're not stupid. They just haven't played the game enough and they don't know. But now I'm putting the word out. These are better. These need to come up in price, at least to where these are. They should be more than these. They should be like 10K, right? You would think. But Some other people don't think so, apparently, because, boom, 6,300, you can get a 95% helmet that also, well, it does reduce your footsteps and gunfire, but who gives a crap about 10%? Like, I've never noticed the difference. So, I wouldn't bother. The people that run amplifier, it doesn't help me at all, like, ever. So, I don't understand amplifier, but it does sell for a lot, so I do pick it up and I sell it back to the idiots who run it. I've never noticed the difference running amplifier or not, so I don't bother with it. And that's, I mean, that's about it. Like, if you're going budget gear wise, like, you can always substitute like level 2 helmets. These are good if you're running like something high tier. You could splurge for these. These used to be way cheaper, but people caught on that the defense link mount helmets are good. So I mean, if you're gonna run damage conversion, you might also want to run a helmet that has integrated on it. So that way when your armor blinks out of existence because you took almost a lethal blow, it'll restore a little bit of life, and your armor will still be able to take some damage. These are good. Even if you're running T5, you can run defense link and integrated, and they're super cheap. Look at how cheap that is. It's way cheaper than buying one of these, isn't it? So what's the point? Why would you ever run a T5 helmet when you can just bada bing bada bang? No point, I don't think. But that's basically it for armor. Otherwise, I mean, if you're going in naked, grab whatever you can find. Use whatever. It doesn't matter. You're mostly going to be relying on killing them before they kill you. Use good ammo. Like, I'm telling people, I don't know why people use green ammo. It is garbage. You are not going to kill any geared people with green ammo very often, like, unless they are just awful. Blue ammo is where it's at. It is the most bang for your buck. It's not super expensive. I mean, 6,400 for 80 rounds. Sometimes I only take in a stack of ammo. Now, usually I'll save an extra stack just in case, because sometimes, like, you will blow through a lot of ammo, especially if you're a terrible shot and a spray and prayer. You might use more ammo than others, but I found that 1 or 2 stacks of this and I'm good, and I'll hide one in my safe. Sometimes I'll even just part this out. Like, I'll take 40 rounds out of this and I'll hide 120 in my safe and pull it out as needed. You just want to have at least a reload in your belt, so that, I'm calling this my belt, it's your vest, but you want to have at least 1 reload's worth of ammo in here at all times in case you have to reload in the middle of fighting. So, you know, there's that. And that won't run you a whole lot. I think I've done the math before, and it's like, for a T4 loadout, just armor-wise, I think you're looking at like 20 to 25K, probably. That's not super expensive. If you're running cheaper than that, I mean, you can get as low as like 15K for a loadout, which is not a whole lot. If you can't afford 15K, I don't know what to do for you, because it's so easy to make money in this. I started, I think, at like 3 mil today. I'm up to 744, and I haven't run into that many geared people at all. There's a few T4s, and that's it. But I have been selling weapons that I've collected beforehand too, so maybe that helped. So let's get into weapons. Weapon-wise, budget weapon-wise, I mean, I've gone over some pretty awesome weapons, but if you're looking for budget builds, I don't really like the AR-17 all that much. I've run it. It does work. Not a huge fan. I like the AK. AK hits hard. Big fan of the AK. So what you can do is you can scoop you up an AK. Oops. Hold on, I need a backpack. Give me un momento. Just throw one of these on real quick, just so I can show you kind of decent weapon loads out. So if you get, dang it, just, come on game, give me one. So we'll say at most you're going to pay like 2,800 for an AK. So we bring this up, 2,800. Let me check and make sure. Okay, you can see it. All right, we're good. So 2800 for an AK, and then like you don't really need the grip all that much. So if you're trying to build cheap, you can deal without the grip. So all you need is a muzzle. So you just go to the exchange and you grab yourself a muzzle kit. Bada bing, bada boom. And now I only want like stock wise. You don't even need a great stock. I mean, just go with a cheapo. As long as it's a lightweight, you want to be fast. So being fast is kind of key in this game. Like, you really do want to be quick. You can run people down if you're quick. You can get away if you're quick. Like, being quick has a lot of advantages. So if you're looking for a gun most people aren't going to pick back up, you can run like light stock. You could go over here and run like a suppressor with maybe I've had airtight chambers come back to me, so you could spend something, get like extra damage. If you're on like desert map or something, you may just want this vibration dampening. So you get something super cheap like this. And then sight wise, I mean, this is if you want it to come back like an insurance. You don't want people to really pick this up. It's going to be kind of trash, but it'll do the job if you use good ammo. If you spend the money on T3 ammo, so you get yourself like a ×4 scope, because then you don't really need a long range scope. This will work. If you get good at it, using a ×4 in long range works. So you grab yourself a ×4 and maybe do, don't pick either one of these or sniper. It'll get picked up. Odds are armor destructor will get picked up also. So the only other ones that are really worth a dang is maybe thermal if you run smoke. Arm damaging is usually a cheap one. So if you can hit their arm, you can get them extra. It's relatively cheap. You'll probably get that back. Or accurate shot, which gives you a little ADS and a little headshot damage when you're zoomed in. So you run that on there, and then go to your mag. You just grab yourself a drum mag that has maybe like weakening ammo, something cheap. Nobody will really want that. Or you could even get like, make it green. That way it's not a blue drum. You could just do like a extended mag. This will give you 40 ammo. Weakening if you hit them in the head. You'll reduce their scatter if you hit them in the arm from your optic. You got your light stock, which is probably the only decent mod on the entire gun at this point. And you're good to go. You got your muzzle that has, you know, you can put like silencer device on it. You could do deep damage. I would do maybe longer barrel or vibration dampening for desert. For other maps, you may want to change it up and get some more damage or something. Just pick something that's green, that doesn't look awesome, something that you would pass up. So if you're just like, I would pass up a deep damage, maybe go that. And then boom, you get it back in insurance. So, but if you're not doing that and you want something decent, so you're running like a T4, but you still got to kind of cheap out on a gun, but you want something decent. A lot of times what I'll rock, if there's a lot of cheaters on, but I still want to run something decent, something not super expensive, something maybe a cheater would pass up. I like airtight chambers good. Still, long barrel and vibration dampening are good for desert, just because you get maybe both of them together. I think is probably expensive. Yeah, there's not even. But I mean, you could always opt out of a suppressor also. Sometimes people will just pass up these other ones with muzzle brakes and stuff. So maybe just see what's cheapest. And yeah, none of them are really cheap for that build out, but maybe you could go like airtight chamber. I mean, you're probably not going to get this weapon back if you build it decent anyways. So if you have like light stock and you have like vibration dampening and rifle improvement, which is a decent mod, you could run that if you got the money for it. Otherwise, you could cheap out a little bit, go for just a little extra damage. It's a lot cheaper. You could also go with AP is more expensive. You could go with large caliber, aim for heads. You could go silencer device, just try to stay hidden where they don't know where your shots are coming from. That's a good idea. And then magazine wise, you're probably going to want warhead. I mean, I'll always splurge for warhead. It really does the job. But if you need cheap, like, go for quick mag warhead. Boom, 3K, super cheap. People will still pick this gun up, by the way, if you build it like this. If you get warhead, if you have light stock, if you've got a blue suppressor, like one of these. But you don't really need the grip all that much. You just need that. So I think on this gun, what I'm going to build, since I'm going to build it for desert, is going to be vibration dampening and maybe... I want to go maybe chamber, or maybe I should go rifle. I'm going to go chamber. We're going to go this because it's going to hit harder everywhere. So we're going to grab that. I'm going to grab a cheapo warhead quick mag, although I think you can get like weakening ammo for not that much more. Yeah, see that? Boom. Weakening is always a good mod. And then optic wise, I like to just go with a base sniper mod for long range. Now sometimes I will run like a ×2 in like arm and weakness for the tunnels if I want it to be half decent, or you could go just straight like one of these guys, try to find a good percent. Ooh, there's a 5%. Let me just rock that. There we go. So here's what you're looking at for a decent build. Sniper, I'll throw this guy in here. If I go into the tunnels, I'll just swap that. Or if I get up into close melee, like I know I'm going to charge up a hill where there's a guy at, I'll swap. That's for long range. And then you get a decent loadout. Like with this weapon, built like this, I would probably run a T4 setup. Not like a super budget gear, because I don't want to lose the gun, right? Now you could always, like that's just a decent AK build. And you could always go Scourge. Scourge is a really OP weapon, and you're basically going to build it the same. Like almost this exact same build. You're going to go sniper measurement, you're going to go light stock, you're going to throw on a war mag, and then you're going to get one of these. And then you're going to use T3 ammo, because T3 ammo is where it's at. I'm telling you, don't use the screen trash. You're going to die to like T5s and T4s using this, but if you use blue ammo, you could get that T5, that T4. Telling you. And I'll buy 2 stacks. I always get 2 stacks. Throw one here, boom, and then I got my reload ammo right here, and then I just gear up, and that's a good build right there. If you're doing a more close range map, maybe shelter, whatever, you want to build like a anything close range, you're going to basically do this. You're going to do, the same thing I explained with the muzzle device, whether you want it to come back or not. But if you're going to use the mag that I'm going to suggest, it's probably not going to come back, because you're going to use a cluster warhead mag. Or not a cluster warhead, just cluster. So you go here and you're going to scoop up just a cluster. Well, it is cluster warhead. So cluster warhead and maybe weakening if you can get it for not too much more. Yeah, there you go. So you'll use that in close range if you're using like a Deluge or an AR-17 or an AK built for a close range. You just rock that, and it's about as good as it gets. And it won't run you, too much. You're looking at probably 25. I think most builds that I do are between 15 and 30K with all that stuff, because you also got to account for meds as well. And med wise, what I would recommend is if you're running a decent loadout, so like T4, like you want to survive, run 2 regen agents and 1 or 2 med kits, up to you. One is, you need at least 1. I usually grab like 2 Molotovs, because you need, sometimes people duck behind cover and they're really low. You can just chunk a Molotov at them, get a kill that way. Super nice. I also recommend smokes, because these get you out of some sticky situations. Once you get good, smokes become necessary, especially when you're looting. Drop a smoke on bodies that you're looting. It will save you a lot of the time, because not enough people run thermals yet, but enough people start smoking, and they probably will. You can also, a cool strategy that I saw somebody do was they were running thermal on their gun and on their visor, and they were dropping smokes on themselves and shooting out of it at other people. So other people couldn't see them, but they could see other people through the smoke and shoot them with thermals. It was a pretty awesome idea. I've done the same thing on other maps with miasma. You use gas mask, which is another option. You can gas mask and use thermal, but it did look like it was a lot easier to see people through smoke than it was the miasma with thermal. So just keep that in mind. I do pick up a few smokes, and other med wise, I like to carry one of these with me because sometimes you get jacked in combat, but a teammate or another guy runs up on you. If you can hear him coming or get behind cover and pop one of these when you're low on HP, it could save your life. And then anything extra is on you. I mean, if you want to use a cardiac or in the initial, like you pop one of those as soon as the match starts to get where you're going quick, or you want to pop a sedative before you run into combat so that you lose this crosshair sway and you get better hearing range. I mean, go for it. They're not super expensive. You could grab a few of those. But I mean, that's like my standard loadout. Like I use like usually 5 of these, 2 of these, a med kit, couple of these, and some extra ammo with an extra scope for swapping. You could also go like put a whole sniper in here if you really wanted to, if you wanted that scourge for long distance, and then maybe you pocket some T4 ammo for your scourge. I mean, you could go that route also. But that's going to be it for this video. That's just some cheapo ideas. Some of the stuff I like to run. There's a whole bunch more, and maybe I can get into another video, but I just wanted to do this because some people requested it. So you got your settings, and I gave you some build ideas. But that's it. So I'll see you in the next one. Later.